You just found Forsaken on Roblox. You jump in, the music hits, and your brain's like, nah, I'm out, chief. You pick a survivor. These bright ones look cool. 10 seconds later and you realize the killer can see you from the moon. You don't know the map. Every hallway looks the same. You turn the corner or hide. Hold your breath and you still get found because they saw you hide there. But you're in. You're not good yet, but the adrenaline got you and now you're queuing again. Now this was stage 1, but wait till the end because most players never experience stage 10. Now you know somewhat how to play, but you still sprint at full speed even when no one's around. Not gonna lie, I did this way too often. You're staring at your character more than the camera. Suddenly the killer spots you. You're in a chase and your brain decides to forget its entire memory. You forget that there are windows, ledges, and even doors to hide behind. You dodge left, then right, and unfortunately end up in a dead end. You rage quit one match, then instantly join the next because you swear you almost had it. Spoiler alert, you didn't. But good news, you're hungry to improve. You open up YouTube and search up top 10 Forsaken tips, then how to stop dying in Forsaken. You copy everything, you change your FOV, then your sensitivity, and you even bind crouch to a button that your pinky can reach. You learn your first juke, and it actually worked. You start noticing patterns, places that are good and places that are very bad. Your goal is shifted. It's not don't die, but rather survive the first 60 seconds. And just watch how these small wins stack later on. Your confidence flips. You're going from please help to maybe I got this. But now you realize that up until this point, you haven't been listening for anything. Now you start listening for everything. Chase theme, timer in your head of where the killer's at. Footsteps, what direction are they coming from? You catch yourself walking sometimes because you realize there's no reason to run and now you're not just holding W for dear life. You start to listen before you turn. Now you're peeking corners with your camera, not your face. You recognize when the killer actually commits versus when they're faking. You stop trying to climb the same thing 3 times in a row just because you saw a YouTube video on it. You go silent through a hallway, then sprint past the next gap. And when you get tagged, you don't blame your teammates. Okay, well maybe a little, but not as much as before. Now maps are starting to look like puzzles, not mazes. You spot a strong loop the second you spawn. You take a route that gives you options. Now you got windows, you got ledges, and you even have different doors to hide behind. You stop running from the killer. Instead, you set yourself up in situations where the killer can come to you. You learn to look around the corner with your camera before ever showing your face. You bait a vault, then you cancel it and cut back inside while the killer still thinks you're in the window. But there's one thing we've overlooked, and that is your team is still not a fan of you. Stage 7 is where we fix this, but first we gotta talk about stage 6. Up until now, you've been changing your settings every single map, but now you pick one setup that feels good and you stick with it. You keep the camera smooth, turn the music a little lower, and you wear an outfit that doesn't look like a walking traffic cone. We're not doing anything crazy yet, just some simple changes to make you be able to see better and hear better when playing. But just wait until you see what these small changes do later on. Most players who make it to this stage think that they'll reach stage 10. However, as you'll soon discover, that's simply not the case. Wait a second, this is a team game mode? At this point, you stop thinking me versus the killer and start thinking us versus the killer. If someone's getting chased, now you're jumping in without even thinking about it and distracting the killer. Okay, I mean, maybe there's some thinking, but you still do it. If your friend is on 10 HP, then you're taking a hit for them. You start making callouts like left window, watch out above. You also stop trying the insane hero plays every time. Instead, now you're doing the smart play that helps the entire team win. Wins start feeling cleaner and more predictable. There's less chaos involved, and overall you feel way more in control. Everyone hits this wall, and most players don't make it past. But are you the guy who does? You lose 3 games in a row. You're blaming your map, your ping, your dog. I mean, like, what did bro do? So, what are you gonna do? Well, here's the fix. 1 or 2 warm-ups in a private server practicing camera movements, hiding spot, jukes, etc. Then hop back in, and after each game, you pick one thing to do better than next match, not 5. Now we have stopped spiraling and we're climbing again. At this point, you realize you don't need any crazy pro moves. You just need a few simple tricks. Pause then go. Even a tiny half-second slowdown can make the killer swing too early. You start only using your camera to peek around corners, not your whole body. Now you're juking behind big objects and making them learn your next move. Are you gonna go right or are you gonna go left? You're leaving early. You're not looping the same spot forever, and you're dipping before it gets bad. Before you were waiting until it was way too late. Now you're juking the killer before they even know your next move. Now we've moved on to the stage where most players never read. The chase starts and you don't even panic. You see the room, you pick the safe path, and you make one good choice. You don't need crazy flashy jukes every time. You take the simple, correct route and save your fancy stuff for when it actually matters, which is almost never. You even help your teammates while you're in a chase. Your calm makes everyone else calm, and most players never get here. Not because it's impossible, but because they don't have the patience. If you're keeping things simple and steady, you'll feel this stage clip. Now this was good, but you're probably still making these 14 Forsaken mistakes without even realizing it, so to fix them, click this video next.